Hi, my dear students. How are you? Welcome to the session. My name is Juhi Narula, and this video is crucial because we'll be talking about how to crack ParaJumble questions. So this is a sort of a strategy session. Now, as the name suggests, para and jumble. So you're provided with 4 or 5 statements, and they are in a jumbled up form. You need to rearrange so that it forms a meaningful paragraph. Now, as far as the questions are concerned, you can have 2 variations. One, you're provided with the options, which makes the game slightly easy. And the second would be where you are supposed to type in the answer. That means there would be no options provided and you need to write the right combination. So you also call these questions as theta questions. Type in the answer. So don't get worried or confused that what do we mean by theta questions. Never heard of this term before, right? So crucial, important, and like I always suggest to have a great strategy that keeps you sane, that keeps you logical, and that gives you the right path. So let's get started. The ideal approach would be not to eliminate, the options. So most of the trainers would suggest you to use the options extensively, which is though not entirely wrong. But what happens is that there's a good possibility that you might get the questions in theta format. So it's better to build the strategy like this and do not have a lot of dependency on options so that you're able to cater to both types of questions. Try to understand what is the essence of the discussion. What is the discussion trying to convey, right? Once you're able to create a picture in your mind, then arranging the sentences would actually not be a huge task as it is in your head, right? Another important suggestion would be look for mandatory pairs. So there are a lot of other clues which are prevalent and we'll be talking about those clues in detail. But the most crucial one would be where you are able to identify 2 statements that go hand in hand. That can be a cause and effect relationship. That can be, pros and cons discussed. That can be, talking about 2 consecutive events happening or 2 contrary ideas brought together, or 2 sequences sequences of events. So there are a lot of such possibilities where you can trace 2 sentences that go hand in hand. Believe me on this will entirely make the game easy, right? So once you are able to associate the relationship and you're able to identify the mandatory pairs, and then if you do the eliminations, you will see quick answers coming your way, and then actually you'll enjoy doing the process of elimination. So let's understand that what are the few clues that you can observe. Please look for the opening or the closing statement. Try and understand when we talk about the opening statement, it will be a general one. So the structure would be an inverted pyramid. That means you start with a broader statement, you bring more concision, and it's sort of a funnel that is created that, you get the most crisp conclusion or the most precise statement coming in the last. So usually the opening statements are, having the proper nouns, introducing you to the content, telling you what is the discussion all about. So try to look for the opening statement. Or else you can look for the closing statement. Closing statement would be the one where we are trying to put the discussion to a logical end. There can be proper logical conclusion indicators present, like hence, as a result, therefore, consequently, clearly. So do look for these clues, right? So you can see this particular set of the ParaJumble questions. You can read these 4 statements and take your time. I'll give you a minute. Please walk through the entire slide and then it will make the discussion easy and effective. So as you can see, there are a lot of other clues also present, which of course we'll discuss gradually. But if you will take a look at all these statements, you'll find the C statement to be a broader one and telling you that what would be the entire idea of discussion all about, right? B cannot be an opening statement because this says this estimate. So we need to have an estimate in the previous statement, right? So B gets eliminated. Now again, same as the problem with D. All of these size ranges. That means the previous statement has to talk about size ranges. So D again cannot be an opening statement. So if you have 2 choices, A and C, you will see C broader and A slightly, detailing it. So more precision is in A. So as we discussed that the opening statement would be a general one. So C is a broader statement, good to begin the discussion. Now, with the rest of the statements, you will see all of these size ranges and, are equally harmful and all nations should consider phasing them out. So it's sort of a conclusion. So concluding that what is the crux of the discussion. So D can be a good closing statement. So once you have decoded the opening and the closing statement, half the game is over, right? So let's further see what are the other things that we can observe. Now, next important thing that you can look for is pronouns. So pronouns are replacers. So if I'm using the term she, he, you need to have an antecedent or a previous statement talking about who or she is referring to, right? So this is a huge clue, very smart clue to crack the questions. Let's take a look. Now, suppose these two statements were in random order. Ravi Duggal, the CEO of Dabur, is of the opinion that Europe is a potential market for Dabur products. He should know. So you clearly know that he is referring to Ravi Duggal. If it would have been he coming before, you would be looking that what can be the statement that I can insert before this statement so that I get clarity what is he pointing to. So in order to establish mandatory pairs, pronouns can be really used nicely, right? Possessive and demonstrative adjectives. His, her, their, yours, again shows belongingness, right? So take a look at the same example that we were discussing before. Believe it or not, nearly 269,000 tons of plastic comprising an estimated 5.25 trillion plastic particles are present in the world's ocean. This estimate. So you can see this estimate is referring to the number given before. So this is what demonstrative adjective that's helping your, helping you well and making your life easy. So this is an example of demonstrative. You're pointing out. So this is referring to the number. If again you are able to trace these words, see, there is no logic. It is not something. This is illogical, right? The words are present in front of you. All you need to do is be observant. Be logical. Have that knack for the details, because that's a skill set you would be, needing to crack IPMAT, right? Next is chronology. So what is chronology? When you're trying to arrange the things in a sequential order. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4, or it can be 4, 3, 2, 1. Chronological order or reverse chronological order. Now, you can basically see how the discussion is built. Like you'll take a look at the first box. Buddhism originated, point of beginning, right? It was transmitted to Japan from China via the Korean peninsula around the middle of the 16th century AD. So then it is BC, then it came to AD, then it took around 3 centuries after. So take this clue, after this to, for the religion to gain ground and eventually flourish. By the 10th century, you started with BC, then you came to, 6th century AD, and then you have come to 10th century AD. So you can see how the progression is happening. Take a look at the next one. Today is the day Mary accepted Robert's proposal of marriage back in 1946. So they're going back now. They first time met in 1945, then they exchanged letters. So what Elizabeth did not know was Robert was already married. Again, the previous history. The marriage was solemnized in 1933. So we are going back. So it can be either of the ways, 1, 2, 3, 4, like it happened in the previous one, and 4, 3, 2, 1, like it's happening in the second one. Both can be considered, right? But don't worry, you'll just have one of the possibilities exhibiting in the ParaJumbles, right? So this we have already discussed. Chronological order sequentially happening, reverse chronological order happening in the vice versa way, right? Now transitions. By the time you must have realized that I'm a die-hard fan of transitions, right? So transitions are words that help you understand how the discussion will proceed. So words like furthermore, moreover, nonetheless, in spite, despite, in addition, all these are words which should be used effectively to crack the questions, right? So, firstly, secondly, furthermore, lastly, you know how the idea is building. There can be, a relation between point and examples that you can consider. Like you take this, India is a land of contradiction. The struggle between the ancient spiritualism and modern materialism, the friction between majorities, community, religion, and other religion. So how it's a land of contradiction being elaborated in the further sentence, right? Presenting the example. So again, you can have a major point and then illustrations happening, right? So you can look for such relationships to establish mandatory pairs. There can be a relationship between question and answer. Like, take a look. What avenue is your wandering soul searching for? What in short you're looking for? And then you're giving an answer, that look no further than your inner self. So a question presented, then giving you the answer. So this is how, in the various ways, mandatory pairs can be established. And if you take a look deeply at these points, you will find a lot of, ease in solving the questions, right? So I hope you found these suggestions and tips useful. Do practice, and there are a lot of practice exercises that we are going to have in the upcoming videos. Stay tuned. Take good care of yourself. All the best.